Hi, today in this video we're going to discuss this book called Contagious by Jonah Berger, where he talks about why certain ideas get talks about by millions of people, why certain ideas get such wide number of people, and whereas other potentially good ideas takes a backseat. What is the underlying principle behind it? He introduces six major principles that decides if uh, if an idea or a thought or as simple as YouTube video is supposed to get viral or not. And these six principles are social currency, triggers, emotions, public, practical value, and stories. He has also given an acronym for these, which is STEPS, STEPPS: social currency, triggers, emotion, public, practical value, and stories. Now, we are going to discuss each of these principles to get a clearer idea of what makes us talk about certain things, what makes every one of us talk about certain things. By the way, if you would have ever wondered why a certain YouTube video gets viral, I've taken this example because it is in our daily life. Starting with social currency, he the author talks about we share things that makes us look good. We don't share things that brings or that shows us, that implies us as a negative person. We share things that makes us look good, that makes us feel smart or make us look smart, and so we share those things. And this is what a social currency. If you have an idea which you which makes you look smart, and then you are more likely to share it with your friend or anyone else, that means it has high social currency. It is highly transmissible. It has high social currency, yes. And then he talks about triggers, where he mentions if something is in your mind frequently, then you are more likely to share it with people. And he states the example of this song called Friday, which gets spike. If you see this Google traffic, you'll see that there's a song on YouTube called Friday. Every Friday it gets a spike. So Friday, the word Friday or the day Friday is a trigger for this song to go viral. And in fact, I watched the entire song. I listened the entire song. It is not good. It is like a generic song, but it gets the views because it follows this principle of virality. It is somehow, maybe unknowingly, but it is engineered to get viral. And then author talks about emotion. We share things. We care thing. When we care, we share. We as humans, we are social animal. We have emotions, and we share things that makes us emotional. It could be anything, a positive emotion or a negative emotion, something that makes us awe and makes us excited and happy about certain things. For example, again, example of YouTube video. If you watched, if you watch someday, if you watch a good, a cat video which brings you smile on your face, you're likely to share it with your friend. Yes. And then author talks about public, where he shows that if something is built to show, then it is built to grow. We do things what we see other doing. For example, this was well implemented by Apple, Steve Jobs, where you would have seen this old MacBook Air where they had this glowing Apple logos. So if anyone works, suppose a person takes out his a person takes out his or her MacBook Air in the metro and he start working, and lots of people watches him working, and the product is itself advertising. The glowing logo at the back of the laptop is a product, is a good example of product itself advertising. So if we share things, if we could make it if we could increase the public visibility of a product, then people are more likely to copy that behavior or to copy you. And then author talks about practical value, where he talks about news that we can use. We share useful things and helpful things with people around us, which we think could be helpful to them. And in fact, we don't share useful things to we don't share useful things uh, to people around us. We share because we want to make us we want to make us useful. And then finally, stories. This is where information travel under the guise of idle charter. Information stories act as a vessel it to contain a vast amount of information. uh, like for example, the good example would be uh, example of Trojan horse, where king send a Trojan horse, a big horse made up of wooden, inside of another king um, wisdom, kingdom, where inside of that big wooden horse there were 12 soldiers. So something similar to that. A story contains lot of your information, lots and lots of information, and it can contain your marketing stuff, it can contain your um, uh, branding and everything. But if you package these things in a form of story, it is easy for a person to process. It is significantly easy for a person to process, because for the past thousands of years we have been a storytellers. Stories are the most efficient uh, stories truly are the efficient ways to share ideas or to share information, and we have been relying on this for past thousands of years or even tens of thousands of years. So thank you very much. If you want, I would highly recommend you this book. If you want to read this book, just go for it.